Hi everybody, this is Miss Teal, and today I'm going to show you how to basket weave. We're going to be starting with a simple basket that looks like this. It's only going to use 2 of the long reeds. So the first thing that you need to do is get 2 reeds and soak it in water, okay? If you're at home, you could fill up your sink with water, stop the water from draining, and let it sit for at least 30 minutes. If we're in a class, obviously we'll do it together as a class, okay? So 2 of the long reeds. Also, I would like to say that this part of the video, we're going to be focusing on making the bottom. I'm going to make a separate video on how to finish the top. So start with one of your really long reeds, and what we're going to do is make 8 22-inch strips, okay? So 8 22-inch strips. So you want to find a measuring device, like a yardstick would be great. And what side do I need to do? There we go. Okay. So you want to grab the end, and you are going to go down to 22. And I'm trying to keep it flush here, so it's going to be the right length. Find 22, and then get a pair of sturdy scissors. And you're going to snip it right at 22. Oh, you know what? I need to get rid of these words because they are in the way. Here we go. Okay. So 22. They should cut fine. I haven't had any problems. These scissors are probably kind of old. The thing is, don't try to snip it at the end like this. It's not going to be very strong. You'll have more mechanical advantage if you put the reed all the way in the back. Like that. Okay? Easy enough. So you're going to make 8 of these 22 strips, okay? Later on, these are going to become our spokes. I'll explain more what that is later. So we're going to make 8. And I'm going to put this yardstick away. And I am just going to use this one I made to measure the rest of them. I think this is going to be easier for me. Up to you how you do it. So you can line it up with the first one you made. And just cut it so it's identical. Okay, be careful to be precise as you can. So that's 2. Okay, I'm going to meet you at the end of making 8 of these. So pause your video and you can start cutting them if you need to. So I have my 8 spokes cut, and I will point out a problem that I had. I think one of the reeds that I grabbed was a little bit short. Maybe somebody had cut off of it before. So I ended up needing to get an extra reed to cut my last 22-inch one. I've done this several times and I've been able to get all 8 from one piece. But if you end up needing to get another second piece and cut from it, not a big deal. So you should have 8. So double count, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Perfect. And you were going to split that into 2 sections of 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and we can put this to the side for now. So you want to line these up so they look really neat and they're all straight and they're all going in the same direction. Also, they're laying flat next to each other, okay, in a row like this. You may notice that all your reeds are kind of pointing in one direction. I like to just have them pointing down. It's just going to make it easier to start weaving. So you're going to have to hold this so it doesn't come undone. And then you're going to do the same thing with the other side, okay? It's going to take a little bit of technique to keep it in there, but keep your hands pinching on that. So I've got my 4, and I'm going to, from this point, make a plus sign, okay? So I'm finding the center of the spokes, and I'm trying to get right in the middle of that X, okay? So up here wouldn't be good, up here, okay? So right in the center, like a big plus sign, okay? So no links from the center or shorter than the others, okay? So pinch this down really well and don't let it come undone. If it does come undone, just finagle with it and fix it. Not a big deal. So you're going to need to get your long reed that you haven't cut. Okay, and we are going to call this your weaver. This is what we're going to actually start weaving with. But before we actually start weaving, we need to attach these together so we don't have to hold it awkwardly the whole time. So we're going to do a technique called lashing. It's going to bind these spokes together, okay? So you've got the end of your long reed that you have not cut, and you are going to place it underneath the bottom set of reeds, okay? So you guys can see this is the top set and this is the bottom set, okay? Put it underneath the bottom set like this. Okay, you can have a little bit hanging out right here, and you want to hold this in place. Okay, it's going to take a little bit of hand strength and dexterity once you are getting it started, but it's going to get easier, I promise. And once you've done it once, it makes sense. When we make our other baskets, we're going to use a really similar thing. Okay, so we have our reed, and we are going to follow a pattern under, over, under, over, under, over, okay? So this one, zoom in, it's under, can you all tell? It's under. So we're going to next go over. We're going to be going over here. And as long as your reeds have been soaking in water long enough, they should be really easy to bend. So we're going to go over. Okay, and I'm trying to hold this down with my hand here. Okay, you can see this pointer is holding it flush. Okay, I'm going around, going under, and then over. So I make a circle and try to keep it tight. You can even kind of push so you don't have big gaps. Okay, so if we look at this, we have one complete rotation. We've got one circle that goes around. We want to make 3 rotations, so we're going to go around it a total of 3 times And it's going to hold it together for us. So we went under. Okay, under, over. And you can push with your thumb. If it's starting to get loose, you can even pull your weaver a little bit tighter if you need to. You want it to hold together and be strong. Okay, and try to keep them from overlapping. You could see my reed was kind of doing this number. All I did was just push it flat. Okay, that helped. Okay, and you want to do that until you can clearly see there's 3 circles. So I've got 1, 2, 3. That is correct. Okay. So what you're going to do now, continue holding this weaver in place so it doesn't pop out. And what you're going to do, I'm going to use my non-dominant hand, is you're going to find each set of 4 spokes. Okay, so these things. And you're going to be splitting those sets in half. So you've got 2 sets of 2. So I'm just literally pulling it, okay? So it splits. Do that to each of those sections. So we end up having 8 sections instead of 4, okay? And if they want to start kind of coming back together, just keep pushing them. That. Okay, so we're about to start weaving, but if we start weaving how it is, we're going to have a problem. Because we have an odd number of spokes, our weaving is going to be the same on every spoke, okay? But we want them to alternate so it locks in place. If that doesn't make sense, it'll make sense in a minute. So you're going to have to do something. You're going to have to get your scissors once again, and you're just going to cut off one section of the spokes, okay? So instead of 8 sections, we're going to have 7, which is an odd number, okay? So I'm getting my scissors, and it doesn't really matter which one you cut off. I think I'm going to cut off this one. And when you cut it, you want to cut it right up into the lashing, which is the circle, okay? As close as you can. Okay, now my hand slipped a little bit and this came undone. I can just pull it, okay, no biggie. So now I have 7. I'm going to make sure these are still separated so I can see where to weave. Hooray, weaving time. So we're going to continue that pattern we had going, over, under, but through these 7 spokes. Okay, we're just going to call these 7 groupings of spokes. Okay, so it looks like I'm under here. Can you guys see? Zoom in. So it looks like I'm under right here. So I'm going to go over, and then you might need to pull this a little bit in case you can't get in, and then under, over, under, and you can spin your project if you like. So you're alternating every time. Going under here, over, under, over, under, over, and I'm just repeating this. So you're going to see that it's the opposite of the row before it, okay? So you can see I just went under here. The row before it, I went over, okay? So it's going to alternate like that. If you end up having maybe a bunch of overs, then there's something wrong, and you can just unweave it and look at it again. So you can actually pull out the reed and redo it, okay? Sometimes if you're not paying attention or you zone out for a second, that's easy to do, okay? So I'm just repeating my pattern, under, over, under, over, under, over. And once you get a good flow, it actually goes pretty fast. Under, over, starting to kind of look like a basket. Under, over. Okay, so we've got a couple rows going on. So we need to start making the bowl shape. We want it to start curving up. So what we're going to do is we're going to get our spokes, and we're going to just try to grab them and fold them in. So this kind of looks like a jellyfish to me. And they're going to remember being folded like that, and your basket's just going to naturally start going up, okay? So you can hold it like this if you want to, or you can just kind of roughly keep them pointing down, okay? But they will have a memory. Okay, so I'm just going to continue. Over, under, over, under. Sorry, this is hard to see. Okay, do you see this big gap I have right here? That's not good. But all I have to do is pull my weaver, and I can push it closer with my thumb, okay? So you want it nice and tight, so when you put things in it, it's not just gonna fall out. Okay, watch those spokes, make sure they're curving down. Make sure that the rows are opposite of the row before it. If not, then pull out your weaver and see what's up. Another thing you can do, you can get your thumb and push on the center, like that. Okay, push really hard, and that's going to help you create that bowl shape as well. So weaving, weaving, weaving. Do. You'll get your flow. And you know what? If you're struggling with this at the beginning, it's not a big deal. We're just learning new things. And then once you've made it, you'll definitely have bragging rights, because who knows how to make reed baskets? Not many people. These could be really good gifts for people too. You can even go out in the woods and find vines. I've made baskets out of kudzu vines. If you have any kudzu growing around your house, or you can find some. Just watch out for bugs, you know, pick out the leaves and stuff. And they are going to weave better the fresher they are. If they're not fresh, you can soak them in water like we did with these. So I'm going to use my whole long weaver. I'm going to use all of it. Okay, I'm going to meet you at the end of this weaver. So you can pause the video if you're watching this at home. Okay guys, so I have used up my whole weaver, and you can see this is all I have left right now. And the walls have gone up, and it looks like a bowl, okay? Make sure that the shape is looking like a bowl. If there's something that you're like, I just don't know if that's quite right, take the investment of time to pull out your weaver and just do it again, okay? You might have made a mistake, okay? So everything should be pretty symmetrical, okay, all the way around. Here's what it looks like from the bottom. It kind of looks like a flower to me. So we need to secure this end so it doesn't pop out and our basket will be ruined. So here's what we're gonna do. Oh, I made a little mistake, but that's okay, I'm gonna fix it. All right, so we've just got a little bit left here. All you need to do is you're going to just poke it into the basket so it secures itself. If you look, there's a little space next to the spokes where you can poke it in, okay? So you can go straight up and down, and you can try to shove it in there. Okay, if your piece is a little bit too long and you're jabbing it all the way in there, but there's just too much, you can snip an inch or two off and then try again, okay? So you should have this. So good job making it this far, guys. I know that was all probably very new for you. In the next video, I'm going to show you how to finish your basket. So we'll end up working with these. All right, guys. Thank you.